In this video, we're gonna talk about a couple different things. We're gonna be talking about what sampling is and the different types of sampling that can occur. We're gonna talk about percentiles, and we're also going to talk about measures of central tendency. So first, when we talk about sampling, the definition we have for sampling is that a sample gathers information from only part of the population. So essentially what sampling is it's a statistical tool that basically allows so that way you can gather information about a population, but you're not asking all the population because maybe the population's too large. So a lot of times statisticians will conduct or come up with what we call a sample, meaning it's a small portion of the population. And then they will run their tests, figure out the information they need from that sample, and then make what we would call inferences on what is then true for the rest of the whole population. So we're not going to get into all of that. We're just going to kind of look at identifying the different types of sampling we have, because there are 4 different types of sampling that can occur. So the first thing that we talk about is we look at a random sample, which is where all of the members of the population have an equally likely chance of being chosen. So for example, if it says I draw names out of a hat, that would be a random sample because each member of the population has the same chance to be selected. Then the next one is convenience. This is where members are chosen because they are convenient for the researcher. So for example, say you're conducting a survey at school, you stand at lunch line during your lunch, which maybe is 4 or 5, and you only ask those students. That's convenient for you because you're already there, but you're not necessarily getting information on the whole population. Systematic is that members are selected in some way according to a pattern. So for example, you're still at lunch line and you ask every 5th table. This is a little bit more random than the convenience is because you have a system, but still not necessarily completely random. And then cluster is that members are selected from particular parts of the population and surveyed in small groups. So meaning that you pre-select how if this example here says you're gonna pick people from 3 lunch tables and ask all those students. So you kind of pre-select how you're gonna figure out which people you're gonna ask and then go from there. All right, so the first thing that we're going to look at I'm going to give you examples, and we are going to determine what type of sampling method was used. So it says to find how many people order Girl Scout cookies, you go to every 8th house. Well, here the important thing here is this note here where it says you are going to every 8th house, okay, meaning you have some type of system to this. So this would be systematic. Next example says Scooter's Coffee wants to know who has the best coffee in the city, so they ask their customers. This would be a convenient sample because it's easy for them to ask the people that are already coming into their store. Because I plan on picking names at random from my bowl without looking. This would be random because I can't see what I'm doing. There's no rhyme or reason to how I'm picking them. It says Mr. Opperman plans on surveying tables in the lunchroom. Prior to lunch, he picks tables 2, 7, 13, 18, and 24. This would be an example of a cluster survey. So obviously with sampling, there's going to kind of come the idea of bias sampling, which means that a sample is biased when a part of the population is over or underrepresented in the sample. Sometimes this can just happen unintentionally, where you'd perform your sample, and then you can kind of realize after the fact that that's not necessarily the most accurate information, or you kind of realize one population is overrepresented, and then most of the time, most statisticians would probably have to go back to their sample and figure out a new sample to take. So then the example here, which actually we'll talk about this. So it says a radio station reports on Adele's new album and wants to hear what listeners think. How could there be biased sampling in favor of Adele? I'm not really going to write anything here. We'll just talk about it. This could be favoring an Adele because if the radio station is already talking about Adele and reporting on her album, it's more likely that her own fans will be also listening to that station. An even better example is if we go back up to number 2, okay, to this example right here. So Scooter's Coffee wants to know who has the best coffee in the city, so they ask their customers. That would be a biased sampling because the people that go to Scooter's are probably more likely to say that Scooter's has better coffee than some other place in the city. All right, last thing we're going to talk about here is measures of central tendency. This is stuff hopefully that seems familiar. We've hopefully been talking about this for a while. Measures of central tendency being mean, median, and mode, all numbers that can kind of talk about the central values of your data. Mean is the sum of the data values divided by the number of data values you have. This is also what we would consider the average. Your median is going to be the middle number in your set of data when you arrange your numbers in numerical order or from least to greatest. The mode is your number that occurs most often in the set. So we're just going to do both of these examples. So first, to find my mean, I'm just going to add up all my numbers and divide by how many I have. So when I add all of those numbers up, I end up getting 48 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 13. So I do 48 divided by 13, and I end up with about 3.69. Okay, then my middle number, so I'm going to look at my numbers, kind of cross off numbers on each side until I find a middle number. I see my middle number is 4. Also, kind of remember that if you cross off numbers on the outside and you end up with 2 numbers in the middle, you're going to add them together, divide by 2. And then I can see from here that 4 repeats 4 times, so my mode is 4. Okay. Over here on this other problem, the first thing we actually have to do is we have to put our numbers in order from least to greatest, just because that's going to make finding our median a little bit easier, so we'll do that first.